Hello and welcome. It's match day, guys. Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation as we get ready for the Old Firm game this afternoon. As Rangers will be at home hosting, just hosting Celtic. We're not welcome. We're not delighted to welcome them, as the club said the other day. We are just hosting Celtic in the SPL. That is it, guys. I don't know if you actually saw that the other day, but there was actually I think it was on the website or somewhere. Rangers. I haven't got the thing on here anymore. Oh, this was it. This was it. I know the deaf thing is wrong. It's DAAF, but this is Rangers are delighted to welcome Celtic to Ibrox Stadium. No, we're not. We're not delighted to welcome them at all. We're just going to host them. It is what it is, guys. We are poor today. Like I said on the video earlier, on the premiere earlier or yesterday. It's the only time I've ever gone into an Old Firm game with absolutely zero expectations, absolutely zero expectations that we're going to do anything. Um, you know, I genuinely, feel that we are in a position where we cannot, we can't win, and it's awful to feel that way. But then, you know what? It would be such a Rangersy thing to do, to lose to St Mirren, to draw with Motherwell, and look like a team that are in big trouble, and then go and actually beat Celtic today. That would actually be such a Rangers thing to do, wouldn't it? I think we all went into the Spurs game thinking we were going to get absolutely smashed, and we were unlucky to not win the game in the end. The cup final in itself, we actually played quite well. I thought we were unlucky not to win the cup final. So, look, who knows? Once the whistle goes and the two teams cross those white lines, and it's Celtic Rangers and blue versus green and white, who knows what happens? Once that first tackle thunders in, once that first song starts, you never know what's going to happen to some degree. Obviously, Rangers are at a major disadvantage this afternoon due to the fact that the defence is just going to be patchwork. Absolute patchwork. How on earth do you kind of deal with that? It is genuinely a situation where, what do we do to actually deal with that situation? Um, it's incredible. It's incredible. We're going to have a situation where we may be playing Leon King, who's played virtually 0 minutes of football. Leon Balogun is touch and go. It seems to be trending the way of actually Balogun playing today. I don't know. I don't actually know what the chances of that happening are, but there seems to be a trend that Balogun could play. Clement kind of hit back, didn't he, the other day in the press conference when he was talking about sports science, and he said that that he's risking the players. He's the one putting the players into a situation where they could get injured, and not to basically criticise sports science too much, which I think that was in response to the comments that Chris Boyd made to some extent, where Chris Boyd said that sports science is running Rangers, and it's not the way it should be, and in effect the manager will be the one who needs to run the club and make the decisions over the players, because the players want to play football. That talk that Boydie gave on Sky Sports was quite revealing. I think he was talking about the 2008 season, the UEFA Cup final run. Davy Weir at 38 played 61 games, Barry Ferguson 62 games that season, Carlos Cuellar over 60 games that season. He talked about the run to Seville as well. Obviously, it was a lot more recently. Connor Goldson played over 60 games that season. James Tavernier 58 games that season. Joe Aribo 50 games that season, and 7 players in that final squad played 50 or more games that season. So, I too much is personally think that too much is talked about when it comes to sports science. I think there's far too much there, and it certainly is an absolute load of drivel at times. I think you should talk to the players and get the players' feelings on this. But as I said, we're going into today's game with very much a patched up defence, a situation where we are, going to be picking from what is left. Realistically, we could have a back four if Balogun doesn't make it, that has Sterling or King at right back, Sterling or King as the right side centre back, Proper as the left side centre back, and Jefte or Ridvan at left back. Not something, given Celtic's attacking prowess with Kuhn and Maida and Kyogo and Hatate and Engels, fills you with any confidence that we can keep them at bay. Certainly if you count in the past that Kyogo has got such a good goal scoring record against us, even when we've got our first choice defenders. So, it is a concern. I wouldn't be as worried if John Souttar was fit. I mean, John Souttar for me is the best defender we've got at the club. He is by way and far the best defender we've got at the club. But he's out as well, so it is going to be an absolute patchwork defense. Now, no matter whatever your feelings are on Jack Butland's form at the moment, obviously Jack went to hospital. He's out of hospital, thank God, with that injury to his leg. He's out as well now. So Liam Kelly plays. So you've taken out the goalkeeper. So you're taking out basically 4/5 of our back five. Have gone straight away. No Tav, no Butland, no Souttar, no Balogun. Now, no matter what you think of Butland's form this year, of James Tavernier, they're still starters. They're still regular starters, and they form a unit. And taking that unit apart, reconstructing it, and putting in players that have not played a lot of minutes is weakening the team. So that is a concern at the back there. I've got faith in Liam Kelly. I think Liam will do a good job in goal. Who starts though? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think if Leon is he is quality. He really is an absolute quality defender. I really believe that Leon Balogun, is probably, alongside John Souttar, is one of our best defenders. Even at the age of 36, yes, he makes the odd mistake, but the lad's quality. The lad is absolute quality. I mean, you've just got to look at the heart and the fight he has for Rangers. I mean, the other night, in that St Mirren game when he gets injured, most players, when they feel their ankle or their Achilles, whatever it was on Leon that was injured, when they feel it go, they would hit the deck and lie there in pain. But not Big Leon. What does Big Leon do? He chases the man back. He slide tackles him. He wins the ball. And then once the danger's cleared, that's when he goes down. I mean, this man bleeds red, white and blue. He really does. And, if he's 50-50, to me, because of the situation we're in currently, with the defence looking as it does, with the goalkeeper being out, with proper looking like a proper bomb scare constantly, you've got to risk him. You've got to risk him. You've got to give him painkilling injections and hope that you can get him through at least an hour, 70 minutes of the game. And the other obvious reason for Big Leon playing a part is because he is a leader. He is effectively one of the only leaders we have left. You look at the leadership group, that are out there. Captain is James Tavernier. Vice captain is Jack Butland, both out injured. John Souttar is probably third in line. If Tav or Butland can't play, John Souttar probably takes the armband as he did pre-season against Ajax. But he's out. So, you're looking probably that Leon Balogun would take the captain's armband. He is a leader on the park. And I'll be honest with you, I'd rather have Leon Balogun as captain until the end of the season because the man gets it. The man absolutely gets it. You've only got to listen to his post-match interviews to understand and to know that this man understands what it means to play for Rangers. He understands what it means to the fans, and he understands what it means to lose and how that's unacceptable and how performances that are not up to standard are wholly unacceptable. Having some against Celtic, I honestly believe would, he'd be able to get into those players that are not pulling their weight, really sort those players out. That's the sort of lad this that Leon Balogun is. So, look, the news at the start of the week, where Clement says that Tav's missing, he won't play. I think was this the quote here? Yeah, he says there's a small chance Leon Balogun can play. We'll see after his individual work. Let's hope that small chance now has turned into a big chance. Let's hope we do see Leon Balogun on that team sheet when it's revealed this afternoon about 1:45. I really hope and pray that he's there because, look, as much as I'm up for giving kids a chance and giving the young players a chance, Leon King and Robin Propper do not fill me with confidence at centre-back going up against the likes of Kyogo, the likes of Kuhn, the likes of Hatate, the likes of Engels. Really does not fill me with a sackload of confidence. So if we can get Balogun back, it will be a massive, massive lift. And, especially, if you have a situation where, Balogun is, you have a situation, where, Balogun is unavailable, it could be awful. It genuinely could be awful. Right, look, this afternoon's game is huge. It is massive. People talk about it being a dead rubber, talk about it being, it means nothing. Well, to some degree, I get that. We're 14 points behind them. Realistically, the league title's gone. Realistically, we're not going to win the league this season. But there's a lot riding on today's game. There's an awful lot riding on today's game. If we are to lose to them yet again, it kind of consolidates our position as being an also-ran in Scottish football. pretty much being Aberdeen but bigger. You know, the fact that they pretty much had their way with us over the last 3-4 seasons since Steven Gerrard left, and been able to do what they want. You know, I mean, the last time that Rangers had a dominance over Celtic of any sort of control over them was when Steven Gerrard was here. He seemed to be the man who knew how to beat them. Whereas since he's gone, you know, Gio and has had the odd success against him. Michael Beale had the one success. Philippe Clement had no success against them. Nobody seems to be able to get it done. And it's almost as if a victory is more sending a signal, sending a sign, kind of saying that, you know, look, this isn't going to be a situation where long term they're going to be the dominant force and we're going to be Espanyol. You know, that it's almost as if we're going to need to kind of draw a line in the sand and say, right, this is the line. We don't go any further back than this. And from this day forward, we move forward. And that's what we have to do today. And victory is the only way to do that. Now, whether that happens or not, I'm not super confident. I really am not. And it's sad. And it's really sad to feel like that. I hate feeling like that. But it is what it is. Look, Rangers go into this game today as massive underdogs. Massive underdogs. And, you know, a home tie at Ibrox against Celtic, we should not be going into as massive underdogs. But we are, you know, because we're coming off the back of a defeat and a draw, and they're coming off the back of 2 4-0 wins. So, you know, and they're coming off the back of having a very good record at Ibrox in recent times. So, look, it is what it is. The situation is very much what it is. But, you know, today's game, a lot does depend on the team that he can put out there and who he picks. I hope that he goes with Danilo and Hamza up top. I don't want to see Dessers at any point during this game. I hope that he puts Raskin in there and he puts Hadji in there. But, you know, for me, he's got to go for it. He's got to go for it. There can be no conservative football today. There can be no sitting back. There can be no, you know, softly approach to this. You've got to be full force. You've got to be 90 miles an hour from the first whistle to the last. You've got to be up in their faces, ragdoll them from the very first whistle. You cannot sit off them. You know, teams in Europe that go after Celtic show that that's how you beat them. You know, Dortmund, for example. So looking at today's game, Clement has got a big part to play when it comes to team selection. If he gets his team selection right, you know, if he goes something like Kelly in goal, Sterling, Balogun, Proper, Hiefte, Raskin, Dio, Hadji, Tierney, Hamza and Danilo, then I think we've got a good chat, you know, more of a fighting chance of getting something than if we go, you know, with, say, just one of those players up front and Cortez out wide who's not fit, or Bayrami out wide who's not a left winger, you know, or we play Hadji out wide who's not a left winger. That, again, is square pegs in round holes, and it's something that Clement does very badly at Rangers, and he needs to stop doing really, really rapidly. Guys, I'd love to know your thoughts on today's game. You know, lots to think about, lots to pick up from today's game. We'll obviously put it all together in the pod tonight, the post-match pod. One of the interesting story that is currently doing the rounds is regards to this young man here, Connor Barron. Apparently, Aberdeen are absolutely livid with the tribunal fee. Which apparently is a bit more than we thought it was going to be, and there's a few more terms and conditions attached to it. Now, apparently Aberdeen Chiefs have called for an urgent review of the domestic and international training compensation system because they feel, and I quote, that they have been shortchanged for Connor Barron's tribunal fee. So Aberdeen have confirmed that the Scottish Professional Football League's independent tribunal have ordered Rangers to pay £639,920, which just seems such a random amount of money. I mean, how you come up with the 39,920, God only knows. I mean, for me, it should be 600 or 650. I don't get this little random amount. With an additional 250k on performance-based payments. Does that explain his absence from recent squads? The fact that Aberdeen have a £250,000 additional possibility. And also, according to Aberdeen, they also have got a right to 10% of any future fee for Barron, something I was unaware of. You know, so I'll be honest with you, that total fee is a lot more than I actually thought it was initially. I've got to say, I didn't think it was as high as that. I didn't think there were any add-ons to that. So it's interesting, isn't it, that Aberdeen think that that's not enough, that it's not enough. I mean, so you look at it, and I'll put it up on the screen in a minute. You've got those extra performance payments if he fulfills those. I don't know what they are. It doesn't say what they are. So the total thing is this: 639,920, 250k extra performance payments, 10% sell on. So you're looking at what, 880, let's say 890, let's say 890,000 there, 10% sell on. Well, let's say we sell him for what, say £6 million, then they get 10% of 6 million, which is about £600,000. So they're still getting about 1.4, 1.5 million for him. So I don't genuinely get what they're having such a moan up about. I think a lot of the moaning and whinging that's coming out of Aberdeen is solely based on the fact that it's Rangers. I think had it been Celtic or had it been another Scottish Premier League club, you perhaps wouldn't be hearing them moaning. Also, I think Aberdeen need to think themselves lucky because the fee they should have received was 550,000 if Barron had moved outside of Scotland. So say he'd gone down south or he'd gone to Italy, they'd only get 550,000, whereas at this point they could earn up to 1.4, 1.5 million. So I think they're being absolutely ridiculous, to be perfectly honest with you. Celtic, I don't think if they signed him that we'd be getting as much shit about this as it is, given that Aberdeen have a biasness towards Celtic. Aberdeen statement said the SPFL has clear procedure rules on the confidentiality on determinations in hearings such as this. Whilst Aberdeen FC has every intention of observing these confidential applications, we now believe that we have been left with no option but to correct the misinformation that has been circulated following the erroneous and irresponsible leaking of the tribunal decision. In fact, the outcome of the tribunal was to reward Aberdeen with a guaranteed sum of 639,920 with an additional 250k conditional performance-based payments, as well as future economic rights by the way of sell-on, of allowing Aberdeen to benefit from any future transfers of Connor as he progresses further in his career. The guaranteed fee and likelihood of where the final compensation will eventually land by the way of future conditional payments justifies our decision to reject the full and final offer that was presented to us by Rangers back in May, which led to the tribunal being convened. And then they go on to moan about the process and moan about the costly process. I mean, I just got to say, Aberdeen, you're pathetic. You genuinely are pathetic. You know the rules. You could earn up to 1.4, 1.5 million, which is more than you would have got if he'd gone to play in Italy or he'd gone to play in England. So seriously, just shut up. No one cares. Genuinely, no one in the league cares about what you say, what you've got to say. Them's the rules. Deal with them. That's it. Right, guys, let's obviously look forward to this afternoon's game if you can. Predictions, we know what they are. We've talked about them on the pod. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, on the way out, if you can smash the sub, comment, share, like, do all that great stuff, it would be fabulous. Thanks for watching. We are the people.